What is up, guys? Welcome to Punk Rock Radar. Today we are bringing you the best and worst Blink 182 songs off of every single album. So, me and John, this is a new series idea we've kind of concocted together where I thought it'd be fun to go through and every Blink album. And this is, just the starting band. We're both pretty familiar with Blink. So, I thought it'd be pretty easy for us to pinpoint what's our favorite and least favorite off of every album. Obviously, the word worst a little hyperbolic. Some of these I don't think have a bad song, but we're gonna try to determine what is like the worst one. If we had to guess, but we'll be doing this with more bands: Rancid, Green Day, Lagwagon. Who knows? If you have a recommendation for a band you want to see in this format, leave a comment down below, and don't forget to like the video. But John, what do you think of this format, and how easy was this for you to figure out your best and worst song for these?
The first few albums was very, very difficult. The second half of the discography was very easy.
Yes, that's exactly how I feel.
I did it all this morning, so it's very fluid. But I was listening to all of them, and as soon as I hit like a really bad song, I just used that. Or as soon as I hit a song I would have skipped, I used that. That's how I came up with my list.
Okay.
But,
Well, I'm excited to see what we both got going on here. And so I guess I'll start us off with what I think is the best song on Cheshire Cat, and that would be Touchdown Boy. To me, this is like the most skate punk, like Blink 182 song. I mean, this is like pure, just peak virgin dork rock song about jocks getting girls and just being pissed off about it. Ones I considered were like Eminem's Carousel, a wasting time, but this one always I think has a great chorus. It's just really fast. It's just really, perfect for like what Blink 182 is trying to do with this record. So what do you think is the best?
yeah, I like Touchdown Boy a lot. The whole first half
It's really good.
was up for consideration. I went with Peggy Sue, which is a song when I first got this, I didn't really connect with, and then I got the Mark, Tom, and Travis show, which has that's like a faster, better sounding version of it. So it made me appreciate that a little more. But I originally had Eminem's because I really like that song too.
And the riff is so good on it too.
Yeah, most of this is good. Like I feel like up to Romeo and Rebecca, it's a pretty good album.
Yeah, that
right?
was I guess speaking of that, we'll get into our worst here because that was definitely like in consideration for me for the worst one. But I think what it came down to was where I felt like Touchdown Boy was the right amount of like, immature teenage songwriting. This song is the worst example of it, which is Depends, which is a poop joke song. It's a song about Depends diapers and just a lot of puns about pooping your pants and stuff like that. And like it's funny to say out loud, but like listening to it, it really does nothing for me. I mean, it definitely fits in with what Tom, Mark were like back then, or being like an immature teenage boy. But as like as I am now, I don't really want to listen to this song. It's pretty bad in my opinion. It's one of the worst sounding ones on the record.
Well, I think that I considered that. I considered actually the last three songs, but
Yeah.
I think there's only one answer for this, man. It's Just About Done. Like if you can make it through Just About Done without skipping, you have like the patience of a saint. Like this is so. It's like this is the one bad song I think on here. Like the one truly bad.
The thing is, it's like so bad. I like feel like I felt wrong even considering it. It was like not even a song.
Yeah,
So I was like,
it's not
I'm
a
gonna pick
song.
like an actual song instead of just a bunch of noises. But I mean, there is guitar. They wrote something. But yeah, it's pretty awful. It's like it definitely is objectively the worst thing on here. To me, I was like, I'm gonna pick an actual song for mine.
It's cheat.
So.
It's a little bit of a cheat. Like if you want to, like Benoit Balls was my number two.
I kind of like Benoit Balls.
If Just About Done is a cop out, I would use that. Honestly,
No,
it's so bad.
It makes sense. It kind of has to be, but I guess we'll move on to the next record here, man, which is going to be Dude Ranch. And you can start us off with the best song on this one. So,
okay, so I had several considerations for my favorite. Uh, there's really like I had a lot of to like a hard time picking out a bad song on this. I don't think there is like a really
Same.
bad song. But I think my favorite now in 2024, this is how I feel right here, right now, is
Mhm.
Waggy. Actually, Krang did a really good cover of this. They made a music video for it too. Maybe I'll put a link for that. I just
Oh,
always liked this song.
I don't think I've heard that. I'm excited to check
Yeah,
that out.
yeah, they made a
Okay, that's
video
awesome.
for it. Other ones I considered, obviously, Damn It, Pathetic. Dick Lips was one of the first songs I learned to play on guitar. Apple
Me too, man.
Shampoo, Josie. I mean, it's all good. It's all good. So
Yeah.
this is the hardest one. I think this was the hardest one for me to do.
This this was the hardest one for me as well because I as I was listening to it, I was like, I feel like there's actually not a bad
Yeah, there's
song on
not.
here at all, and like every song is super solid. So it was pretty hard to determine it. Waggy was my second choice as well. I think Waggy is a great song. Dick Lips was up there. Apple Shampoo, Untitled was a song I liked a lot as well, and there's a ton of great tracks, but. I decided, like, in my heart of hearts, this is the Blink 182 song, and it has to be picked, and it is Damn It. You know, I mean, Damn It is, to me, this is the definitive Blink song. It's the riff everybody learned how to play when you're starting out playing guitar. It's just too iconic not to have it as one of my favorites, but uh, yeah, I mean, there's so many choices you could have picked on this record, and I wouldn't have batted an eye. Almost all of them, so I would say for the most part. And now this is the toughest part, John. What is
Yeah.
the worst song you think?
Okay, so I'm a Star Wars fan, right?
Okay,
And I dig some of the lyrics, but like if I'm going to skip a song on this album, it's gonna be A New Hope.
okay.
It kind of feels bad because I used to really like this song, but it's a little too corny now for me. And I don't know. It's I'm looking at it like, and I just feel like it's the only one. Like either this one or the one you picked, no spoilers,
Yes.
were like the only
Yeah.
ones I even considered. But I still don't think it's a bad song.
Princess Leia, and you're laying here by my side, something like that. It's,
Yeah.
I would say it makes sense. A New Hope was in consideration for a little bit. Also, it's like I think one of the longest songs in the album too.
It's a
But
rough one.
but honestly, I think New Hope has some charm and it has some stuff to say. Once again, like you're not saying it's a bad
No.
song. We're just picking the worst. If we had to pick a worst song on this, so mine's gonna be Degenerate. And the only reason is it's just, another kind of joke song. And so it's a little, I mean, this is obviously much better than like the joke songs on Cheshire by any means. And it's not a bad song. But if I had to pick one, Degenerate, I feel like I could skip. I feel like every other song had a lot more going on for it with just riffs and just energy, and the lyrics are more interesting. And this is the one that it has a fun charm to it. I like the chorus.
Yeah, I like the chorus.
Yeah, but it's if I had to pick one, it'd be Degenerate. But honestly, there's not a single bad song on Dude Ranch, so it's pretty impressive how rock solid Dude Ranch is.
Agreed. Yeah, it was that one and this next one we've got coming up.
Yep, we got Enema of the State, and I'll start us off here with my best song. There's a lot. There is a lot in consideration for the best. And I actually just last minute said, you know what? I think this one is my favorite, which is going to be Going Away to College. I think it's one of Mark's best songs. There's like, it's just such a solid, fun song. It's a good love song. I love the lyrics, like a bouquet of clumsy words, a simple melody. This world's an ugly place, but you're so beautiful to me. I don't know why. It's just so Blink is just so good at making really simple lyrics just like work. So lyrics that would not work for anybody else work. And I think Going Away to College is just such a good song. One of my favorite tracks on here. But I'll go ahead. What is your best?
Well, first of all, I love Going Away to College too. Awesome pick. Neither one of us going with singles for our favorite. I'm going Wendy Clear.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like, so I got this CD on release day back in 1999, and I feel like, as a teenager and you're listening to a CD, it's rare you get to the end of the CD, like initially, like a lot of the times you don't have time to listen to the whole CD. So like
Yeah, yeah.
Wendy Clear was one of those songs where I was already fell in love with Enema of the State, and it kind of hit me later on in my listening cycle, and I was like, wow, this might be the best song. And I could say the same kind of for like Anthem and Mutt too. They're ones like I got into like later on.
Yeah.
But I love the guitar riff. I love like the post chorus and the chorus. It's just such a good song. But like this was another one. There's not a bad song on here. You may disagree. I know how you feel about your worst song.
We'll get into the worst in a
Yeah,
second.
go
But
for it.
Wendy Clear was up for consideration for me, and also Aliens Exist, and a lot of songs, a lot of great songs. Dumpweed, such a good intro track. Mutt is an awesome song, but I think Wendy Clear is in your top 5 Blink songs as
Yes,
well.
it
So,
was. Two of these are.
so my
My other one was What's My Age Again. Just out of nostalgia.
yeah, and so like my worst song on here, and I really had to think about it, and there truly isn't a song that I don't like on here, but it's all the small things. It has to be. I feel like every other song I just like so much more than all the small things. And look, I have said negative things about all the small things. I think it's overplayed. And every time I listen to all the small things, I feel like it gets slower. Like when
It's
I
really
sing it in my
slow.
head, it's all yeah. When I sing it in my head, it's fast. Like it's like all the small things. And when I hear the song, it's like all the small things. It's very slow. And definitely one of my least favorite songs, and one of Tom's least favorite songs as well. But I understand because he probably has heard this song 500 million times at this point. It makes more sense for him than me. But what's your worst song on Enema?
So I knew you were gonna pick all the small things. So I wanted us to have like different lists. I don't know if it's my least favorite. Like I don't know. I don't think it's that bad, but it would be like bottom 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I picked the party song. I don't even think it's a bad song. Like I kind of like it.
I like the party song,
But,
yeah,
like-
but it makes sense to. It was in consideration for me for a second. I was like, it is one of the weaker songs, but it's
Yeah.
still a fun track. you
Yeah,
know?
it's not bad. There's no bad song. Like when party song comes on, I don't skip it. So like it's
No,
not bad. We don't
And
get.
I saw her standing there. It's so good. It's so catchy.
Yeah, I didn't want to pick it, but I had to. It's the name of the game, so it's there.
All right. So we'll wrap up Enema, and I think you'll be starting us off with which is Take Off Your Pants and Jacket, which is next.
So this was another tough one, Elliot. There's no skips
Oh yeah.
on here. I considered the first 2. I considered Please Take Me Home.
Mm-hmm.
But I went with another one of my top 5 songs, obviously. I went with Roller Coaster. I don't know why. I don't know why I always like this song. Like this one and Online songs are probably my number 1 and number 2. I just think it has such like a fun verse and it's such a fun chorus, and it's like it's slotted in a good position on there in between Stay Together for the Kids and Reckless Abandon. Yeah, I just really like the song. I don't know if I've ever seen them play it live, so maybe one day, but I don't know. That's my pick, Roller Coaster.
No, that's a good one. I have nothing against Roller Coaster. I think it's a good. I like Online songs better, and that was my second pick for the best song. Online songs, just Josie, you're my. It's just so good. I love
yeah.
that intro. It's amazing. But I had to go with Anthem Part 2. I think it's just such a good intro track, and just one of my favorite Tom songs. It's just so catchy, and it really does live up to its name, Anthem. It just feels like this big intro to the album. A lot of different things going on. The lyrics are sometimes like a little corny, the grown-ups, the politicians, they're keeping us teenagers down or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's a fun song, and that's what Blink is. These are kind of dumb, fun songs, but as soon as it starts though, that everything has fallen to pieces, earth is dying, help me Jesus, it's just so good to me. I just love how he sings it. So that's my favorite song.
No, I love Anthem Part 2. It's a great pick.
Let's go to your worst song off of this is tough, right?
This is really tough. I had two things I considered, and you had one, so I took the other one. I went with Give Me One Good Reason.
Yeah.
Just because lyrically, I think this is the weakest one. It has like kind of what you're saying with the Anthem Part 2, but it's like even more even
Yeah,
more
yes.
so. The lyrics are bad. I'm not gonna sugarcoat. This one is like kind of cringy, especially now for somebody approaching 40. It's something I can no longer relate to. I don't even know if they could relate to it when they wrote this, but this is
I
my
know.
yeah. There's like two options. It was this one or the one you're gonna talk about. So give me
Yep,
one good reason.
I'll go into it. I mean, give me one good reason was my second pick. It was in consideration. It's not a particularly great Blink song, but still not a bad song. And neither is my pick. It's the worst song on "Take Off Your Pants and Jacket" in my opinion. But it's "Shut Up." This also, I believe, Mark thinks this is the worst song on "Take Off Your Pants and Jacket" as well. He said on like one of his live streams, and I agree with him. It's just that intro is kind of like it's just saying "shut the fuck up"
Yeah.
like with no aggression whatsoever. It's very corny. It's definitely the worst song. Still not like a bad song. There's like it's still catchy. It still has Travis is great drumming and the bass and everything. But to me, this is just a borderline skip at times, especially compared to everything else on this album. So
Yeah, I like the gratuitous f bombs. They're just like it's like a little too much for like a not angry song. I agree with you
yeah,
100%.
exactly. Yeah, it's like using curse words with no aggression. It's yeah, it feels like you're saying like "fuck you" on Twitter or
Yeah.
something like that.
All right.
So, but yeah, let's go to the next one here, which is going to be Untitled, and I'll start us off with my favorite song for Untitled. And I know what your favorite song is. It was in your top 5 songs, I believe, as well.
Yes,
And
sir.
this was in. There's only 2 songs in my mind that were in consideration for the top, maybe 3, but it was "Here's Your Letter" and the other one is "Violence." And I decided to go with "Violence," and the reason is I think the chorus on "Violence" is so damn good that it kind of overrides maybe some of the goofy verses that are kind of doing here. And but the lyrics are really good. Just that and that chorus is just one of my favorites of there. That "violence lies empty." I think it's really good. I think it's a song about alcoholism. I'm pretty positive. So this is the dark times for Blink 182. This is the dark album. But what do you think about "Violence"? And what is your favorite song, John, off this record?
This is easy for me honestly, man. Like I think this album is half good and half not good. Violence is a good song. That's one of the ones I do like.
Yeah,
The ones I considered, I still like feeling this. I think people got a little sour on it, but I still like it.
I like feeling this.
I
Yeah,
like
it's catchy.
Down.
Hmm.
I like Easy Target. But my favorite is like you said, Here's Your Letter.
Yes,
It's towards the end. I think this is such a good song.
it's
And
it's it's a really good song. Yeah. So
I mention this a lot, but I'm gonna mention it here again because it's appropriate. If you haven't heard it, go check out Knuckle Puck's version of this. Like it's a little faster, a little more aggressive.
oh yeah, it's really good.
It's
Yeah.
really good. Their version of Here's Your Letter, but that's my favorite song on the Untitled.
Yeah, my song is about alcoholism, and I think yours is about suicide.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. But let me get into the worst song here, and I'm not sure if we have the same worst here, but I feel like we
Yeah.
almost should.
Yeah.
It is All of This is my least favorite song in this album. It's with Robert Smith of The Cure, and what a boring
Yeah,
song,
it's so
dude.
bad.
It's really bad. The use of Robert Smith is really terribly. It's like they just walked him in the studio and said like talk about some stuff for a little bit, and then they dragged him out. He didn't even know who Blink 182 was, and just Tom was such a fanboy. It was like, oh yeah, whatever he does is great. Put it in there. It's a bad song.
Yeah.
It's up to this point, I'd say this is the worst Blink 182. So just the Cheshire Cat ones. Obviously, it's just a bunch of shitty teenagers writing crappy joke songs about poop and making noises. But as like an established band, this is their worst song so far, I would say. And you think that you feel the same?
Yeah, I told you I didn't want to have anything the same as you, but like
But you
I
could.
this is the only one we're gonna share. But to me, it's so clearly the worst song on the album that like
Yes.
I wasn't gonna mess around. Like I considered, I think Always is not a great song. I know it's a single and people love it, but I think,
I like Always. I'm glad you didn't pick it.
yeah, and the other one I really don't like Stockholm Syndrome. People go crazy for that. I think it's up to this point some of Tom's worst vocals.
Mm.
Like where he's kind of screaming, but it's like high pitched. It's weird. I don't like that.
Yeah.
And the interlude would be a contender, but I didn't pick any of the interludes just because it's kind of cheap. But otherwise, the
Yeah.
one from One More Time would have 100% made it. But,
Oh, also two interludes. I forgot they have two interludes on this
Yes.
album. Man, that's a bad decision. But yeah, all of this is definitely the worst song. So we'll move on to the next one, which is you're going to be starting us off here, which is after Blink broke up, they came back and they put together Neighborhoods. And what is your favorite song off Neighborhoods, John? What is the best song off Neighborhoods?
I think that Neighborhoods has one good song,
Okay.
and that is Hearts All Gone. It's probably the one song that feels like it could have been on Untitled. But I really don't like this album, dude, like at all. Like this feels like just an Angels and Airwaves album, and I don't like Angels and Airwaves.
Yes, yeah.
But I think Hearts All Gone is pretty good. Like it's not even in like my top 30 or 40 Blink songs, but like whereas like Dude Ranch was very hard for me to pick a favorite. This one, the opposite was true. It was just like, okay, there's one song I like, and the rest I'm either indifferent or dislike. So
To me, Hearts All Gone is like very out of place on the album.
Yes,
And so I was
totally.
like, I feel like John's gonna like this one because it just feels like a fast like Mark song. I am a mild Neighborhoods defender. I am an Angel and Airwaves fan, and I think there is a good album in here. In fact, I made a playlist called Neighborhoods Fixed where I added songs from Dogs Eating Dogs and cut it down to 10 and restructured the whole thing. And I think it's a serviceable album. Maybe I'll link it down below if anyone's
Yeah.
curious. But my favorite song, and is I actually think it's a pretty good song, is Wishing Well off of this one. This I feel like is a good balance between like Tom trying to insert the Angels and Airwaves sound, which he did very heavily on this album, to sometimes to very terrible extents and very bloated. But I feel like this song is a good balance between like the Untitled Blink sound and the Angels and Airwaves sound, where I feel like this is like a good marriage between the twos and a pretty passable song and a catchy song as well. So I like Wishing Well. But
Yeah.
what do you think is the worst song on Neighborhoods, John?
So this morning, after I realized we were doing this today, I went through the tracks, and I was like I said, I was going until I skipped, and I skipped your favorite first, but the next one I skipped was This Is Home. So I'm gonna go with that one. It's hard. It's hard, dude. This is like, I don't really like any of these songs, but this one felt like exceptionally bad. I don't like MH41820. I don't really like anything after. I don't know.
Hearts All Gone.
Yeah, Wishing Well was fine. I thought Kaleidoscope was all right, but this Is Home, I think, is the worst. Yours was yours was a contender though.
I'm glad mine was a contender for the worst here. So yours, I actually took your favorite song off my redid version of, just because it feels out of place.
Oh yeah,
Not that it's a bad song. It just feels out of place on the album. Yeah, my contenders were like, Fighting the Gravity. I thought about it, but I'm like, it's just like ambient noise. It's building up to the ending. It doesn't even feel right to do it. It's like inoffensive, but I'll say is where I thought Wishing Well was a good merger of the Angels and Airwaves and Blink sound. I think Snake Charmer is like the worst offender.
Yeah.
I think it's like a plus 4 minutes. And there's like a lyric in there that is like my least favorite where he like rhymes like spider with insider. And I cannot stand how he sings it. I just don't like any of it. It feels like I'm just listening to Tom just stroke his ego just so hard on this. And we're just divulging into the DeLong creative abyss that I just and I like Angels and Airways stuff, but like if it's gonna be a Blink album, make it a Blink album. This is just an Angels and Airwaves song through and through, and not a good one.
agreed.
So
Snake Charmer's my number 2, so we're on the same page.
It's pretty bad. So, all right, I guess now we're. Tom is left again, and now we've brought in Matt Skiba to form Blink 44. And what do you think? I guess am I going first here? I believe
I think
I
so.
am. 'Cause
I
you
think
said Heart's
so.
All Gone. So all right. So I'm not a big fan of California. I know you like it, not like a ton, but like a good bit.
I think it's all right.
You think it's an all right Blink album.
Yeah.
I still feel it is just way too saccharine sweet and not great. But my favorite song is going to be Kings of the Weekend, which I think gets a little has like a slightest bit of embarrassing, a little corny. With I think one of the lines is like "Thank God for punk rock bands," but like overall, this is like a fun summer pop punk song, and I think the chorus is really good. I think Skiba's vocals are really good on this one. I thought this was like a good solid pop punk song, and I overall enjoyed this. Bored to Death was like a contender, and the one that you're gonna pick was also a contender. So go ahead with John. What do you think is the best song on California?
Yeah, I didn't have a definitive answer for this. I like quite a few songs on here. I like Cynical. I like Built This Pool. I wish it was longer. I think that's a good start to a song.
Yeah.
I like Left Alone. I like Rabbit Hole. I like San Diego. But this song I picked, it feels like it could have been like an Enema or Take Off Your Pants and Jacket era song. And like
Sure.
a lot of the times that feels like inauthentic, but like I just like this song. It gets stuck in my head. It's ironic because it kind of feels most like party song in terms of like the tempo and everything. And I just had that as my least favorite Enema. But like my least favorite Enema song would still be better than any of the Skiba stuff. So
Exactly.
I'm gonna go with it.
All right, all right. No, I think it's a fine song. Like I said, there's some good songs in here, but let's go into the worst songs. And my least favorite song on this whole album is the title track California, and this is unlistenable to me, dude. This is such a bad song. I think it's the worst song that Blink has ever written. It is just this corny pop garbage. It's just like an omen of what is to come with the next album we'll talk about. But just like living in the perfect weather, spending time inside together, like wearing all black on the beach. I hate this song. I hate the lyrics. I hate the sound of it. To me, this is like ABC's 1-2-3 pop song. I am not a fan of. This is my least favorite song, I think, so far. Like, I at least can respect the creative decisions and, like, the attempt at making something grandiose with neighborhoods. I cannot respect this California song, so I'm sorry. But
No,
I don't know if you like this song or not.
I don't
but-
like it.
Okay.
I had 4 contenders for my song, which was the one you picked, California,
Yeah.
No Future, Home is Such a Lonely Place, but the one I think is the worst is Teenage Satellites. It could have been a Neighborhoods holdover.
It did feel like that. It felt like they're an Angels and Airwaves song, didn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
this for me this is by far, and it's in between like 2 songs that I like, so like it feels even more egregious. So this was pretty easy for me. Like after I saw you had California, I was like, okay, it's easy. It's Teenage Satellites. So that's my pick. I mean, second easiest
No,
decision across the board.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm not a big fan of Teenage Satellites either. So, but yeah, we'll go to the most infamous Blink-182 release, which is Nine. And John, you'll be starting us off with your favorite song on Nine. And how would you even start a favorite song on this album, right? What is the
Yeah.
best song on Nine, though? You think?
I was so mad that you had me listen to this again. I thought I was done with it forever. This is, man, dude. I was like, do I like any of these songs? And the answer
I had
was,
to listen to it too.
yeah, the answer is no. I don't like any of these songs. But
Okay.
gun to my head, which Elliot did have a gun to my head. He came to my house and he made me pick a song from Nine.
There was a gun. That's all you need to know.
So I ended up picking Ransom. I think it's really the least worst. It's not the best. But
I was trying to think. I was like, is it because it's the shortest?
I think
I don't know if it is the shortest.
I think it's okay. I'm not even gonna say pretty good.
Yeah.
I only considered. Let me make sure. I considered Dark Side, even though I don't like it. But I think Ransom's the only song I could really tolerate. on here, so I picked it. But I don't like it, and I don't recommend it.
Dark Side was in consideration. Ransom wasn't really, but like listening to it after you sent it, I was like, I can see this being number
Yeah,
one pretty easily. One, it's short, it's just a fast song. I mean, Dark Side was in contender because I thought it was like okay, but
yeah,
the music video was like all these kids doing Fortnite dances, and I just like can never get that out of
yeah.
my head. And I hate that song. I just always think of the music video. I can't stand it, but. I went with the song that I actually thought was pretty good, which was "Pin the Grenade."
Oh,
Um, I thought Kings of the Weekend they were all good. "Pin the Grenade," which is like to me, this sounds like it could have been on the previous album. I think Skiba has some really good vocals on here. I thought the song overall was pretty catchy and decent, and I feel like this is better than some of the songs in California. It's not better than the best of California, but I feel like this is like it could fit in on California and be a relatively like middling track and pretty decent. So I didn't mind Pin the Grenade. I thought it was decent. But what do you think is the worst song on Nine, John?
Elliot, just close your eyes and point anywhere on the screen. There you go.
Okay, all right, all right.
No,
I'm doing it.
I'm gonna go with I went with "Blame It on My Youth." There's
Yeah,
a lot of
that's
really
fair.
bad songs, but this one is especially bad. I think when you're the standout bad track on something that's already so bad, then
I remember this is the first song I heard when this was being advertised, and I remember hearing "Blame It on My Youth," and I was just like, "Oh man, dude,
Yeah.
what is this?"
it's so
I
bad.
I was like, that was when I was just like, I never even listened to this up until we decided to do this
Yeah.
because the songs were so bad. Now, for my worst, it's not "Blame It on You." There's another song on here that just like grinds my like gears, like my brain just starts getting like inflamed when I hear it, which is "I Really Wish I Hated You."
Yeah.
To me, this is like the Blink-182 attempting to pull a Fallout Boy and become like an Imagine Dragons-esque rock arena band. Like this was their attempt at like a Centuries style thing. It's so bad and it's so like grating to listen to this song, and it feels so inauthentic, and it feels so like they're trying to get a big radio hit like so hard with this song. I cannot stand it. I think I like it. Like I think California is a better song than this.
Definitely.
And California,
Definitely.
and I thought California was unlistenable.
Yeah. I think this is definitely worse than that. Yeah.
Yeah, so "Blame It on My Youth" and "I Really Wish I Hated You" are like two of like the worst songs that I've heard in recent memory, and it's so
Agree.
bad. Oh, you hate that song too?
Oh yeah. I mean,
Oh.
there's not a single song you could have. If you picked "Ransom," I would have said fine. You know.
I thought "Pin the Grenade" was all right, but "Ransom" is fine. But yeah, this is the final, the newest one. Tom has come back again.
He had to. They were
He had
dead. They
to.
were dead in the water. They're like,
Oh yeah, Nine killed it. I mean, if
Yeah.
they kept like doing like California stuff, it would have been passable.
Yeah.
But yeah, that Nine, I don't know what they're trying to do with Nine, but it killed it. So Tom came back, the big reunion of all the band. It was very emotional for all the Blink fans, all the 30-year-old dads. We're just like Blink's back. But John, what do you think is, or am I starting this here? I think I am.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if we have the same best. I can't remember, but I've talked about it before. My favorite song on One More Time is "Terrified," which I feel like could have been on Untitled and would have actually been one of the better songs on Untitled. If they,
Agreed.
especially with the Untitled production, I feel like it would have been a really good song. Which I've heard people remix the production on this album and make it sound really good, make it try to sound like Untitled. It works a lot better than what Travis is trying to do. So yeah, "Terrified" is the best song to me. I considered "One More Time." "Dance with Me" is really catchy and fun. I actually do like that. And "Turpentine's" a good song. "Bad News" is a good song, but "Terrified" is where it's at for me. What do you think, Sean? What's the best song on "One More Time"?
I didn't want to go with you, but I did.
Yeah.
I had "Bad News," and I was listening today, and I was like, "Man, Terrified is so much better." Even if it drags a little bit in the end with like kind of the noise and stuff, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's the standout of this album, I considered all the ones you said. I considered Turpentine. I considered Bad News. I think
Dance
that's
with
it.
me.
I don't really like Dance with Me. I don't. Yeah, Anthem Part
You
3.
don't
I
like the
think is pretty
Olays?
good. I don't like the Ole. It really the Olays kill it for me.
I got Pat. It's a catchy song, but More Than You Know is decent. Like, but I think that double bass drumming by Travis really just like I'm like, what is this song?
Yeah.
What is going on here? It's too much. But all right, let me go to the worst song, and I don't think it actually is even showing up because there's too many tracks on here on the track
Oh
list.
yeah.
But yeah, my least favorite song of this thing is "Childhood," and the only thing I've written down for this one is also unlistenable.
Yes.
The auto tune croning at the end from like Tom is just it's really bad. I don't know what they were trying to do with this song. It's not like an emotional slow song. I mean, I guess it's supposed to be, but it just is overpowered with this awful auto tune production, and it's just not interesting. And what a horrible way to end the record as well, with a total dud and one of the worst Blink 182 songs, in my opinion. So.
I agree. That I had like 5 contenders. I'm cheating a little bit and I'm putting 3. Well, I'm putting 2 because apparently it was too long. That's what she said.
Okay.
Fell in Love is real bad. Blink Wave, I don't know. I like 80s nostalgia, but I don't like it here. I was putting the Hurt interlude, even though I said I wouldn't, because it is so bad and so boring. It's like it's a 3-way tie for the worst song for me, but it's probably Fell in Love. If I'm being honest, I really dislike that song. It's
Oh, I didn't mind Fell in Love. It's not,
Yeah.
not like it was not my favorite, but I thought it was inoffensive. It's like also 2 minutes, where Childhood, I think, is so long. But
Yeah.
and Blink Wave is like whatever. Like there's a lot of songs here where I don't think they're like bad. They're just kind of like whatever.
yeah.
It's a lot of whatever.
I think
songs.
Childhood. I didn't listen to Childhood this morning. It's like all the way at the
Yeah.
end, so I just thought it was a bonus track.
I know it's actually officially on the album.
Oh
It's
yeah,
not
it's
even a
track
bonus
17. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta listen to it. I think you'll be like, oh yeah, this is the worst one.
I think you're right. I do remember because I did
Yeah.
the reaction to it.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, it's pretty bad. It's like, just like the most auto tune on Tom. It's at one point. It sounds horrible. But yeah, I guess that wraps everything up here. So I mean, I like this concept. I love to do this with more bands, with like Lagwagon, the Flatliners. Smaller bands we could even do it for. I think it's a great idea. So let us. Definitely, let us know what type of bands you want to see us do this with, and did you like this format? John, what are your final thoughts here on the best and worst Blink-182 songs?
I like it. Yeah, I would definitely do more. It's something we could do for bands that maybe only have like 4 albums who aren't
Yeah,
quite there for a
exactly.
tier list. So
Yeah.
I think it's awesome. I'd like to do more. Like I said, Elliot told me about this yesterday, so I didn't feel great about my list, but I think
Your list is perfectly
Yeah.
acceptable. So yeah,
I only missed a handful of songs. But yeah, it was fun. I would definitely do more.
yeah, you missed out on listening to Childhood, dude. Yeah, so- really great song.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But
it
yeah,
is.
thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to go to punkrockradar.limitedrun.com. There's records, there's merchandise to support small bands, support the channel. And yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Peace out, dudes.